Hey everybody, a little bit different video this week. We're actually up here on our property. Anybody that's ever went back and watched any of our barndominium videos where we was going to build a barndominium, we're back up here today doing some different work around here, and we just kind of want to show you a little bit about what we want to do here. Obviously, you know, the barndominium didn't happen.
Right.
I ain't going to get into all that now. Go back and check those videos out.
Well, and in the middle of that, all the building process went through the roof. So we just kind of put a pause on it for a little while, and now we're starting to maybe try to work out some other plans we thought we'd share with you guys.
Yeah, we have been looking at some other house plans. I think we finally found one we actually like, downsizing a whole bunch from the barndominium.
Yeah.
But I'll kind of explain why we're looking at doing that here in just a minute. But kind of showing what we're kind of trying to get done up here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, we're going to put a circle driveway in. And we already,
very large circle driveway.
Yeah. If we can get anybody to work.
Right.
Contractor's supposed to be up here today, and they didn't show up. So, anybody that's trying to build or do anything right now, you know how frustrating that is. So you can't get anybody to do anything nowadays. Yeah. But beside that, I'll quit my rants. Happy notes.
We have a plan. Yes.
Yes, we do have a plan, and we just wanted to share that with you today. What we're going to do is like I say, we may not, even though we think we found another house plan, we're looking at some different things. It still may be another year, two, three. It still
may be a while. Yeah.
Before we build up here, and the main thing, like she said, the cost. I mean, the cost is through the roof. We're kind of cheap, so, and I shouldn't say cheap. We're willing to pay for good quality and good services. But you know but
we don't want to overpay for something.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're taking our time. We've found by now that don't rush.
Yes.
Take your time. Do your research. You'll be much better off.
Yes.
And so we're just playing it by ear, kind of, and just trying to figure some things out. But what we're going to do in the meantime is we want to get it to where we can bring our camper up here and at least maybe do a weekend or something up here.
Yes, and make it easily accessible with that camper and fully usable.
And again, anybody who's following us knows that we're looking for a giant fifth wheel. We're looking at the 390 RKR, which is huge, and I don't think we can get in there at ice. I think I can squeeze it in.
I'm questioning it.
She don't think it'll fit in. It's tight at the house. Anybody that's seen us pull in or out of other rigs, it's really, really tight out of the house. So this is plan B of a place where maybe we could store it. Not that we would live in it up here or anything like that. Maybe just come up here on the weekends on a pretty weekend or something. We would definitely
use it as a vacation home in the interim.
Yeah, but not to live in full time or anything like that.
Right.
But to put it up here, we would still want power, water, septic,
sewer,
which we've already got all that here. When we was getting ready to build, we've already had power run up here. We've already got our septic in. We've already got our well in. The problem is they're on opposite ends of the...
Yes, they're on opposite ends of the property.
and there's reasons for that, because you don't want your well next to your septic, all that kind of stuff. So let me show you kind of what we're doing up here, and explain a little bit. And I think it'll be pretty cool for the camper, and it'll actually work in the long run, so if we ever do build up here, we don't have to move anything.
Yes, and for all you people that were asking us how the barn dough build has been going, this will kind of answer those questions for you. Yeah, you'll see what we're working on. Well,
we did do a final barn dough thing where we kind of told everybody we're putting it on hold. And the barn dough thing is scrapped. We will never do a barn dough again. We found out way too much information. There's nobody, even the building inspectors in this area don't even know what a barn dough is. They don't even know how to inspect it. There's been too many horror stories. We're just staying away from it. We're just going to go with a traditional stick build, and later on, if we need to, we'll build a garage separately or something like that. That'll be more simple, that people can understand.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're at with that. There is some other developments there that we really haven't put it out there. I don't know if we want to or not, but there is a period at the end of that for where the builder stole our money. We chased him for a year and a half. That is done.
It's no more. It's done.
I will say this much. I can assure everybody he will never do it to anybody again.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to go into details. It was some bad stuff. It happened back around Christmas time.
Yes.
And I'm just not going to go into it. It's just for
it's not our place to say.
Yeah.
But it's done.
But it's done. I can promise you that nobody ever has to worry about anything like that from that builder again.
Yes.
There's a period in that, which brings us peace, because we don't ever have to worry about all that coming up and trying to keep chasing money that we knew we'd never get back anyway. So, so now with that brings us peace. We can move forward, and that's kind of where we're at up here.
Right.
So let me show you around a little bit and show you what we're doing. All right, guys. Over here where we're at, you see we got a little building over here. This building was actually way out in the middle of the lot, believe it or not. I ain't gonna go into the story of all that, but somebody else kind of put this building up here. We kind of let somebody else kind of use the lot for just a month or so while they was transitioning. And so anyways, they bought this, or they actually got this building, and we had the boards and everything from a concrete form, so they built the deck and put it on there. The problem was where they put it at was the worst place they could possibly put it at, which was fine. We wasn't using anything, but now that we're trying to start, like I said, we're trying to put the circle driveway in, it's going to be right in the middle of where we wanted the driveway to go. So we had to move that building over here. We actually cut the deck down. The deck was actually double the size this thing is right now, but we got it down and got it the building. The reason why we moved the building over here is because our well is right here where this rock is. Yes, that's a fake rock. It looks fake. I get it. It's the best I could find. But the wellhead is right there. We used to have the pressure tank and everything stuck right there too, which I hated leaving the pressure tank out in the weather. Too, you know, we're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. I was always afraid somebody would come up and actually steal it. Those, I mean, it's $200 or $300 for one of those. And not that we've ever had anything messed with up here. We've never have. But we wanted to button that up a little bit. So if you look over here, it's where we got our power run to. Our meter and everything's run into that. And so we had power run from that to the well. And we actually had 50 and 30 amp connectors on that power pole so that we could hook our campers up, welders, whatever else when we was trying to build up here. So what I did was I kind of rewired some of that stuff, took most of it out, left the 30 amp in to run our well pump. Then we took the pressure tank and I actually moved it inside the building. You might be able to see the pipe still in there. I still don't have everything completely buried yet, but we moved it inside the building where it's out of the weather, out of sight, out of mind, so if anybody does come up here snooping around, less likely to steal it and keep this building locked. And then we may eventually actually insulate this building so it'll help in the winter time. Not that we plan on being up here in the winter time. We'll probably drain everything, get all the water out, and just shut it all down. So I'm not really worried about the insulation factor, more so just to get it's just unsightly just sitting right there. So that's kind of where we're at all that. We spent probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 weekends up here, just coming up here a few hours on a weekend and working and moving all that, because I had to dig trenches to run the power line. We had to get, you know, redo all the power. I had to take the 50 amp breaker off, move all that, get all that plumbed in, and then from there, what we're going to do is from that power pole, we're actually from the well pump, I've actually got to run, I'm going to run a water line all the way around to the back side of the property over here. And what I'm going to do, if you see our burn pile there, you see the white pipe in the background, there's a tree right there in the center. That's kind of where we would like to put the RV if we ever came up here staying on the weekends or anything like that. So it's about 175 feet. I've got to run a water line out there, and it's about 125 feet, 150 feet that I've got to run the RV panel out there. So I had to get some really, I got the biggest gauge wire you can buy. Researched all that, make sure I could run it that far. I know there's electricians out there that's going to tell me it's too far of a run, but I've talked to people and all that, got all that finalized out. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a 100 amp RV panel back there, just like if you went to an RV park. It's got the 50, the 30, and 2 just regular plug-in outlets on it. So we're going to put that back there. The septic, if you look back over here and see where that white pipe is, our septic is off on that corner right over there. And so that's the reason why that white pipe is coming out of there. We're going to run our septic line over there. Then we'll have our power and water coming around this way to run over there. And so that, I think that'll be the perfect place to bring the RV in. So then what we're going to do is we're going to come up the driveway here, and where we got it cleared out, I don't know how good you can see this, we got it flagged off, but weeds have kind of growed up in there. So it may not show up very good in the picture here, but we're basically going to take the circle driveway and we're going to go all the way around the outer rim of where we got cleared up here. Obviously we'll drop the RV back there in the back, but then that way when you go to pull out, especially in a big RV, pull right on back around, come back around to the building I showed you earlier, pull right back down the driveway. So it'll make it really easy to get that big rig up and in here Not that I'm afraid to back it up. I've been backing trailers since I was 14 years old. None of that's a problem, but I just thought it would look really nice. The second part of that, reason why we're doing that, is the house plans we picked out will fit right here in the middle of this lot. And that way we don't have to touch any of the driveway work we did, because if we build up here and move up here permanently, obviously we're still going to have the RV. So that way we'll have a place that we can park the RV behind the house once the house gets built, and we can come in and out very easily anytime we want to with it. It won't be tight and constrained like at the house we got now, which is very tight, very hard to get backed in. And you know, we like keeping things simple. And so that's kind of what we're doing. Again, like I say, we're at the point now where I've got to get somebody, or we've got to go rent a trencher one. I don't know which it's going to be. If we can't get anybody to show up, it's going to be us trenching it. But I got to get somebody to trench this line so I can run the water and the power all the way around. And then I've got to get somebody up here to pull the gravel and get all that doctored up. And then probably what we're going to do for right now is, since we don't have the house here yet, is maybe go ahead and bring in a little bit of topsoil, try to get some grass going up here, because we're in Georgia. This is all red clay, and nothing grows in red clay except junk. We've tried to sow seed up here just to get a little bit of grass to make it look prettier, and it just won't take in this red soil, red clay. And so once we get the driveway put in all the way around, we may put a little bit of grass out there, build a fire pit. So if we do come up here and spend the weekend, it'll be nice for the camper. We swapped sides, didn't we?
A little bit. That's okay.
But anyways, that kind of wraps up this week. We just wanted to kind of give everybody a little insight of what we was doing up here. Like I say, we've already got so much money in this land by putting the well in, getting the power run, having the septic put in. We've already had the driveway put in up to this point. We got gates down here. Had it all leveled, all cleared off and everything. And so we want to do something with it, you know. We want to enjoy it as much as we can. And that's kind of what we came up with until we get to build the house. So short and sweet this week, not much to it. But I'm telling you, next week we're heading to Disney World. We got our annual passes.
Got a little preview right here of what we're about to do.
And again, if you tune in every week, guys, we're going to do something that we've never seen out there on anything Disney before. We're going to show you every penny we spend.
Yes.
And we're going to show you how we save money at Disney. We're going to show, we hear it so much. Little backstory here. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long ending. We're debt free. We don't do anything credit.
Yes.
And so the only credit card we have is a Disney credit card, because we earn points that we can spend at Disney.
But we never carry a balance. We never pay interest.
Right, we pay it off every month, but we put all our gas and groceries and all that kind of stuff on there. And there's different percentages they pay for different things.
But that money that we spend anyway on the Disney credit card is earning us enough to almost pay for a trip every year.
Yes, so we generally get a trip every year or every other year out of using that on the points. And so in doing that, we finally was able to get annual passes this year. We've been waiting since 2019. We was going to buy them in 2019, and 2 weeks before we got down there on our trip, they quit selling them and just messed up our whole plans. And so we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. They finally came back out with them, so we have annual passes. But when we use our credit card, and then when we tell people we got annual passes, everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive.
Well, our credit card actually is a Disney credit card, so it has the pictures of the characters on it. And everybody loves it. They think it's so cute. And then they say, oh, I wish I could afford to take my kids or my grandkids to Disney.
Yeah. And everybody says, you know, it's going to cost $10,000 to take my family to Disney. No, it doesn't. Can it? Yes.
But
absolutely.
It doesn't have to.
But it doesn't have to.
Yes.
And again, you know, we're pretty frugal guys. We try to find good buys and good deals. And granted, that's hard when you go to Disney.
It is.
But you can do it. There's tons of stuff you can do there that don't cost any money.
Yes.
But we wanted to show how, because a lot of people that when we told them we bought annual passes thought we'd lost our mind. Because they're like, you know, you spent so much money on annual passes. You live in Georgia. How often can you go? Will it pay for itself? We're going to show you that it can. We're
going to break it down for you guys and show you what it would cost to do the things that we do at full price, and then compare that with how much it's going to cost us with the annual pass. Obviously, the annual passes, the more days we go to Disney, the less per day that annual pass is costing us. But we'll give you the best estimates that we can show you on that. But with the annual passes, we get discounts on all of our food, we get discounts on lodging, we get discounts on souvenirs, any merchandise that we buy. So we're going to show you that comparison and show you how much we save.
the annual pass, you get 20% off merchandise. You get 10% off on almost all the food. There's one or two exceptions with the very high-line restaurants. Some restaurants actually can give you 15% off, but again, those are only a handful. Mostly it's 10% on the food, 20% on merchandise. But with annual pass holders, we get a little bit off on other things. Like right now, this trip we're taking, we got 30% off our hotel room.
Yes.
We're going to go later in the summer, which I know summer, Florida,
it's hot.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, it's hot.
So they do drive, try to get bargains to get people down there in the summer. But we're getting 35% off. So we're going to get to stay in one of the, what do you call it, the Highline resorts?
Well, they have multiple levels. They've got the value resorts, then there's the moderate. I can't remember what the next one's called. I don't remember.
Deluxe.
Yeah.
The deluxe resort. So we're actually getting this. The one we're going to the one we're going to during the summer is deluxe resort. We're actually going to stay at Animal Kingdom. We got a savannah view, so we'll be able to sit on our balcony and see giraffes and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's always been a dream of mine. Animal Kingdom is my favorite park. I love the animals, and so we got 35% off that room, so we can stay at that room for what we normally could stay at a normal room, and one of the lower priced rooms for it. And so we thought, why not do it? Let's treat ourselves.
But we'll show you guys all those numbers, all those comparisons, what we saved, and we'll also throw in some things that we choose to do that cost a little bit more, but you don't have to do things that you could do to save even more money.
Well, and we like to camp down there. I mean, if you've seen any of our videos, you know we at least go once a year, and we camp at Fort Wilderness. We love taking our camper down there, and so once we bought our annual passes, just what we saved and not having to buy package deals with park tickets has already paid for our annual passes.
Oh,
yes, we have several trips booked for this year to do that.
Right.
But again, we're going to get into that. We're going to start breaking it down.
Yes.
And we'll do it every trip we do. We'll show you a price breakdown. So it'll be multiple videos all throughout the end of the year. Yeah. Because we got trips booked in May, September, October, November, and December right now.
Yes.
And we've got a cruise booked next February.
But the annual passes don't do you any good for the cruise.
No. But we got some exciting things to show you there. And like I say, I think it'll show some people, if you want to tune in, if you know anybody's been wanting to go to Disney.
It's doable.
And want to go on a budget. Tell them to tune in to us. Tell them to subscribe to our channel. Because every time we make one of those trips, we're going to give you a price breakdown. We're going to show you what we spent on food. We're going to show you what we spent on lodging. We'll tell you what we spent on the annual passes, and we'll show you the savings of what it would have costed versus what it cost with the annual pass savings.
Right. Well, and again, just like always, if you guys have any questions, or if we say something that you want some more information about, shoot us a message. We'd be happy to talk to you guys and let you know our experience with Disney. I feel like we have a pretty good base of knowledge there. Yeah,
we kind of know the parks like a bag of our hand, and we've been tour guides for some of our friends that's never been to Disney before, and we took them and was tour guides, and so we love to help people out. We want to share the magic with other people. Just like we love Grand Design. We talk about Grand Design all the time. That's why, because we love the experiences we get with that, and the same thing with Disney. And so we want to share that with anybody we can. So if we can help somebody out, let us know.
So that's a really long ending to wrap up this video about our campsite over here on our build site. But tune in next week and see what we do at Disney.
See you then.
Bye, guys.